mentoring, some of us may think of college, but it doesn't have to stop there. These workplace programs can help both the employees and the company.
The founder of the Wilbanks Consulting Group, Holly Wilbanks, is here to break down these benefits and share how you can get involved. Let's talk about mentoring. I think having a mentor is something that everyone needs, and I know a lot of companies offer these programs, but I kind of feel like people don't take full advantage of them.
That is correct. A lot of times people are paired up with a formal mentor, or there's a mentoring program that's there, and even when they're actually paired up with the mentor, they're not sticking to those regular meetings, they're not making sure that that mentoring happens. And it really is a huge missed opportunity because mentoring can make such a difference in your professional career.
So how does this actually work? Because you need both sides to be on board with this, the mentor and the mentoree. And so how are a lot of these set up?
So some of them are very formal, right? And so when you think of a mentoring program in a workplace, a lot of times we think of experienced professionals being paired up with new or early career professionals and putting their wisdom to use to help this young professional grow. And those relationships are often there. But we're also seeing a lot of growth in reverse mentoring, where perhaps younger or less experienced professionals are mentoring more experienced professionals. This really started to take place during the big tech boom that we had and sort of that tech evolution. But now it's on a variety of things. Think about the fact that our Gen Z workers, there's such a disconnect between their perception of things and perhaps a baby boomer's perception of things. So that reverse mentoring can really help in so many ways. And then peer-to-peer lateral mentoring has become very big too. Just mentoring people at your own level, right?
Yeah.
Wonderful.
And I feel like, you know, if you start a new job and you just kind of filling out the culture, you can kind of be the person, depending on like who you gravitate towards, like, hey, you know what? I really like how she does things or he does things. Can I ask that person to mentor me?
Absolutely. Yeah. And what I would recommend is if you're starting to notice that there is a professional within your workplace who you think might be a good mentor for you, try to set up a formal opportunity. This could be a coffee, this could be a Zoom meeting over coffee or a Teams meeting over coffee. So if you're in a remote environment, which is a big reason why this is so popular now, is this remote and hybrid working, if you can create that opportunity to connect, then you kind of feel it out over the first couple of meetings. Am I getting out of this what I thought I was going to get out of this? Are they into this, or are they seeming like they're checking their watch, they're not wanting to be here? Because if they're checking their watch and not wanting to be there, that's probably not the best mentor for you going forward.
Right. Yeah. So, and you mentioned this too, but so post-pandemic, we're seeing a big surge of this, and maybe that is because some people aren't coming into the workplace. So you might need some of that experience coming from somebody else, whether it's a peer or someone else in the workplace.
So the formalized mentoring programs really surged post-pandemic, and it was as a result of the fact that so many young people were coming into the workplace, but there was no physical workplace to go to anymore. Everybody was working remotely or hybrid, and these young professionals had no idea what was going on. So the formal mentoring programs really helped fill that gap during that time period. And again, these may be people who are in the same role as you, who have been there longer. These may be people from your department who work a different role, but it could be somebody in a completely different department in a role you didn't even know existed, and that is valuable too.
I was going to say too, because I think that so many people in every industry, they feel misunderstood by somebody else in the same company who's doing a different role. Oh, well, they don't even know how X, Y, and Z works. So even across departments, that can be really beneficial.
That cross-departmental mentoring is huge, not only for you as a professional to figure out, okay, how does my role fit into this bigger picture, and what do they do, and why should I know about that, and how does that impact the business? Sort of that strategic thinking is very, very helpful when you start to think about how you want to maybe either advance or pivot your career as your priorities and interests change.
Yeah, and really quickly, what if you just want to take this project on yourself and you don't see mentors around, there's no formal programs at your place of employment? How can you start something yourself?
Great question. So your HR person or department is typically the captain of this type of program. If they don't have something formal, you can certainly try to set something up informally, like we discussed, seek somebody out, ask your supervisor. But remember that informal mentors exist all the time too. So you may have just know a professional in your neighborhood, and if you don't, Mentoring Pittsburgh is an organization that matches up professionals with mentees. They partner with the Pittsburgh Steelers and other area businesses to fill that mentoring gap. So if that's something that you're looking for and you don't have it at work or elsewhere, try Mentoring Pittsburgh.
Great advice.